Okay. Admiral?
Jones. Just wanted to get some background information on you
Sure.
personally first. Like, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Rockwall, Texas, outside Dallas, Texas, and a very uneventful childhood. I helped walk old ladies across the street. I picked flowers on the weekend. I volunteered for local church programs.
Okay. What's your level of education? I'm sorry.
Well, I went to many years of government training camp until I was a senior in high school.
Well, what were the name of the camps?
Well, I went to Rockwall High, and then 2 years at here in Austin at a high school, Anderson High.
Okay.
That was my 4 years of brainwashing there, public school, and then I went a couple years to ACC, and I made good grades in high school and community college, and then from there I moved on to the big time, Access Television.
Okay. So what came first, your interest in political issues or your interest in broadcasting?
Well, I think it simultaneously, the acorn sprouted, because I was sitting there watching the news, and then I'd watch C-SPAN and actually see what would happen. And I wasn't a Republican or a Democrat. I was trying to make my mind up about things politically. I wanted to do that. And so I was just really trying to honestly, politically find out what I believed in. And I guess that the globalists kind of lost me, because I had read some history books, understood how governments worked, and then there was this naive view in the media that the power ended with the president or the Congress, when I really knew that it was always the power brokers and the power behind the throne. And so I found out the media was lying, and I thought, well, is this a left-wing bias, or is this a conservative bias? And I found out that was only one layer of the onion. It's not left-wing or right-wing. It's about command and control. It's about centralized power. And then I got an Access TV show, and from there, about a year later, the show had gotten some attention. I didn't even try to get a radio show. A local program director, actually station manager, called up and said, I'd like to put you on the weekend. That was a local FM station, and the show got high ratings, in fact, the highest. So they put me on during the week, and that show got high ratings. And then a little syndicator picked me up, and my show's on over about 100 stations right now. It's about 20 big cities and a lot of small towns, from New York to Northern California, from Denver to Albuquerque, New Mexico, to right here in Austin. And I of course, we have some synergy. We have the website, so we can post what we're talking about every day. The bills, the news stories. This is not made up, folks. This is happening. Whether it's satellite tracker chips in your phones, or face scanning cameras going up, or the government putting cancer viruses in the vaccines. We have all the documents right there for people, and we show it to them. And some people think it's, kind of a depressing, dark show, but it's not. It's empowering to know that we're in this bad situation, because everybody instinctively, subconsciously, the brain's much more powerful than the frontal lobes, which are just the integration centers. The subconscious knows we're in a lot of trouble, and it's very upset. And so you see a lot of the dystopic attitudes even becoming, kind of a fashion. But that's only an outward manifestation of an inner concern, really, of the group politic, not just of the individuals. And so it's good to contemporize it, if that's the right word, to manifest it there in your hands, and to really face the tapestry, the infrastructure of this system.
So there wasn't like one event in your life that made you start tracking this stuff down? It was just kind of like a gradual awakening to what was going on?
Exactly. I mean, it was a gradual awakening, and then that's what I did. And a lot of people have woken up. A lot of people get caught up in fake right-wing politics. They get caught up in fake left-wing politics, when all those are arms on the same system, on the same Cyclops, type system, New World Order. And we need to get people to get outside the box, use the cliche, to expand their reality, and to shatter the existing paradigm, a paradigm that is similar to believing the world is flat. Well, we're kind of kooks at first for saying the world's round, but in time, we will become the norm, and those that believe it's still flat will be the weirdos. I think Mark Twain said it best in the beginning, a patriot is a scarce man, hated and feared. brave hated and feared, but in time when his cause succeeds, the timid join him, because then it costs nothing to be a patriot. And that's really it. I mean, if we all go along to get along, if we all give in to government, if we all give in to the demands on property rights, or the demands from the establishment and all their phony wars, the drug war and the rest of it, if we continue to give into this, I mean, there's no end level that tyranny will take us. Powerful people that get into positions of power are ruthless. They're cunning. That's why they're there. And they enjoy control. They're sadistic. We've got to limit them. And to do that, we've got to limit government, period. And the New World Order keeps winning because regardless, the left wing wants government to do this. The right wing government, wants people to do that. Everybody wants the government to do something. And in reality, it just keeps empowering and growing this beast.
Okay. So what do you think people need to be doing to stop the New World Order to, totally controlling everyone's lives?
These are all huge questions, and, I don't have all the answers. But I know that just thinking for yourself, questioning authority, knowing history, the old cliche, those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. Power corrupts absolutely. Or power corrupts absolutely. And we see that playing out again. There's this naive view that, everything's fine, let's just go into total escapism. Well, that's going to end your escapism. That's going to end this, this cakewalk that we've had in this civilization, because there are people that want to dominate you, and they don't care if you have a good life or a nice life. They're only held at bay because they can't con everyone into accepting total enslavement. But what was your question again? It was an important question.
So what do you think people need to be doing to stop the total enslavement?
I mean, there's so many facets. There's the control of energy, the suppression of those technologies. There's the suppression of life extension technologies. There is the attack on individuality at all levels, on making us dependent on government, on herding us into compact cities. Number one, we've got to break free and realize that the information we're getting is controlled. Then people can analyze and look at the propaganda for themselves and make their own decisions from the system they're looking at. And everybody has their own skills and their own perspectives. But just getting people to question reality and question what they're being told is the number one thing. We need to do that. That is so important, because it's too big a picture to try to describe it in just an interview or even a radio talk show or in a book. It's an experience of life, and trying to get people to really look at the big picture. One big thing is to stop being just naive to the extreme. People ask, how do these women get in cars with serial killers? How did Ted Bundy pick women up and get them in his Volkswagen? Because the women did want to believe that something bad was happening to them. How does a con artist rip somebody off? They tell them, oh, you're so great. Oh, you're so good. You're special. This is going to, you're the first to get to do this. Just go ahead and invest your money. And then you do it and you get ripped off, and people don't even want to believe they've been ripped off at first because, they were special. They got this great deal. So many people have invested in this system that no matter how much corruption comes out, they feel like they're part of this structure, so they defend it kind of with a cognitive dissonance. And that's so destructive. We need more dissent of every type. And that's really what's exciting, is that we've seen the left and the so-called right realizing that that's all a fraud and getting back to basic populist issues of liberty and freedom at a local level. And the left is beginning to realize that big government is a tool of elite corporations. And when they vote or push for big government, they're actually giving the elite corporations bigger tools to control their lives. And the right wing is realizing that they're part of a fraudulent system. They're not in a political reality, that they're part of a controlled discussion playing a role. And then they're beginning to realize that all these so-called Republicans really are doing all the same things that the Democrats are doing, just putting this veneer of smaller government and more fiscal responsibility on things, and that it's not real. And that in truth, when they say leave all the corporations alone, they're good guys, they're free market, that's the biggest fraud, because in truth, these elite corporations are organized crime syndicates that are controlling the government and using it as a mechanism of piracy to feed upon the body